Hi there, I'm Mistel Godlewski, an American girl who called the cornfields of Illinois home until over 10 years ago when I started navigating the chaos of life overseas. If you've ever felt that itch for something more, that whisper telling you to break free from the ordinary, you're in the right place. This podcast is your backstage pass to the wild ride of moving abroad. I'm here to pull back the curtain on the real journey, sharing stories that are funny, dramatic, and sometimes downright unbelievable. We'll explore the gritty details, from battling culture shock and navigating tricky visa processes to celebrating those small victories that make it all worth it. So whether you're daydreaming about a new life abroad or already in the thick of it, grab your passport and let's explore what it really means to live life beyond borders. Welcome to A Broadly Speaking. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to the A Broadly Speaking podcast. My name is Mistel. If you've been here before, welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Please ignore any nasal sound in my voice. I'm fighting off a cold and it is kicking my butt right now, but I want to make sure that this week we're going to talk about bureaucratic bullshit. And we're going to talk about a phrase that makes both my eyes twitch when I hear it, which is all about easy visas. So I want you to buckle up, get ready for today, because we are not going light in this one. Every week, someone slides into my DMs or my emails or some other form of chat saying, hey, I just want to move somewhere with an easy visa. And every single time I have to take a deep breath before I respond, because that sentence right there, that easy visa BS, it's how good intentions turn into bad relocations. So buckle up, Buttercup. Today, we're going to dissect this myth, drag it a little, and then talk about what you should be looking for instead. I hope you're ready. So let's start here. When people say they want an easy visa, what they usually mean is, where can I move without paperwork trauma or financial ruin? Which is fair. Totally fair. We've all been through bureaucratic trenches, right? We've all stood in a DMV line at some point in our lives and regretted our life choices of choosing to drive a car. But easy in terms of visas doesn't mean simple. It usually means deceptively simple. As in, sure, you can move here quickly as long as you don't mind being stuck in legal limbo for eternity or having to renew your paperwork every 12 weeks like a Netflix subscription you can't cancel. See, governments don't hand out visas like Costco samples. Every easy visa comes with a catch, and that catch usually costs money, time, or both. The countries that seem easy on paper is usually because they want something from you. Your income, your startup, your investment, your youth, your taxes, pick your poison. There's no free immigration lunch. There's just different flavors of, quite frankly, paperwork hell. So people get trapped quickly in the fantasy of easy countries. It's not by policy, but by marketing. Because every few months, there's a new it country going viral for being quote unquote easy. Portugal had its digital nomad era. Spain had its self-employment visa hype. And everyone suddenly wanted to be a freelance content creator in Estonia. And don't get me started on Mexico TikTok, where people act like residency just falls out of your margarita glass. But here's the thing. Visas are not vibes. They're contracts. And like any contract, you absolutely have to read the fine print first. When influencers say, I moved here with zero hassle, what they actually mean is, I paid an immigration lawyer $3,000, filled out 47 forms, cried twice, and now I'm pretending it was chill because that's better for engagement. Another thing people forget is that quote unquote easy changes. Visa policies shift like the political winds, right? A country can have an open one year and impossible the next, depending on elections, economic goals, or how many Americans just flooded in their tax office. Portugal, for example, used to be the golden child. Everyone was moving there. And then the government was like, maybe we don't want to be everybody's plan B all the time. So now the process takes longer, costs more, and includes new income thresholds. Same story, different continent. So if your entire plan is built on what's easy right now, you're building your dream on quicksand. And when that policy shifts, which it will at some point, you're left scrambling. There's also a sneaky danger behind easy visas. You end up choosing a country that's convenient, not compatible. I've seen it so many times. Someone wants to leave the US quickly, so they go for whatever country will take them the fastest. They don't check language barriers, job markets, healthcare access, cost of living, or even school systems if they have kids. They just want to get out and get out now. And I get it, totally get it, because desperation makes good enough look good. But 6 months later, when reality sets in, they're back in my inbox saying something like, okay, now how do I move again? But for real this time. And that second move is way harder because now you're moving from another country, not the US. So there's different rules, there's different taxes, there's different bureaucracy. You just doubled your overall paperwork nightmare. So instead of chasing what's easy, you need to chase what's sustainable. The visa that aligns with your long term goals, not your short term escape plan. Now, if you're only looking for a short term escape plan, maybe that's okay. You want to get out first 12 months and then see what's happening. That's one thing. But if you're looking for a long term move abroad, meaning more than 12 months is long term, right? Anything more than a year is long term. You got to do it right. So let's be real. People don't want an easy visa. They want permission to believe it's possible. When you've been marinating in fear and overwhelm and what ifs for months or years, easy feels like a lifeline. Like maybe, just maybe, this isn't as impossible as you thought. But that's exactly why easy is also dangerous because it makes you careless. You stop double checking requirements. You skip translations because you read somewhere that it wasn't needed. You trust random strangers on Facebook who said they didn't ask for that document from me. And before you know it, you're standing at the consulate with the wrong paperwork, trying not to cry in public. Honestly, easy isn't real. It's marketing for your nervous system. The goal isn't easy. The goal is doable, repeatable, renewable, because moving abroad is not just a one time event. It's a system you have to maintain. And your visa choice doesn't support that. It's not easy, it's temporary. Here's the part no one tells you about. Visas are not isolated. They bleed into literally everything. Your taxes, your healthcare, your housing, jobs, even into retirement. That easy visa you grab because the application was short, it might make it impossible for you to switch to a work permit later or disqualify you from healthcare coverage. Or worse, keep you from applying for permanent residency. It's like buying a cheap flight with 3 layovers. Sure, it's cheaper now, but by the time you're done, you've aged 5 years, they've lost your luggage, and somewhere along the line, a flight got canceled and you're stuck somewhere in Albuquerque. Visa choices should be made on financial decisions because they are financial decisions. They determine how much freedom, stability, and protection you actually have once you arrive. All right, we're going to go a little bit ranty for a second because this one thoroughly pisses me off. So many people tell me, I'll just figure it out when I get there. Oh my God, no. That sentence is how people end up overstaying their visas, getting fined, or worse, banned from reentry. Immigration offices don't care about your optimism. You don't get points for effort. Every figure it out later story eventually becomes a holy shit, I can't renew this story. If you want to figure it out when you get there, fine, but figure it out legally. Arrive with a visa that lets you research, network, test the waters, whatever. That could be an education visa. That could be a job hunting visa. That could be so many different things. But do not do one that has you watching the calendar like a bomb timer because you're going to get that bomb to explode. So your question probably is, okay, what should I be asking instead if I'm not looking for the easiest visa? Because the question definitely isn't which country has the easiest visa. It's which visa gives me the room to grow that I need. You want a visa that gives you options to renew, to switch, to upgrade, whatever's appropriate. You want a country that lets you evolve without having to start over every year. Because the truth is, you don't know if you choose the right country until you've lived there for a little while. But you can choose a visa that keeps you flexible enough to pivot when you need to. The right visa is like a good pair of jeans, comfortable enough to wear every day, flexible enough to move with you, and not so cheap that it falls apart the first time you bend over. That's the energy you want to bring to this decision. Okay, I know someone's out there already composing me an email that says, but Miss Dell, I moved to XYZ country and their easy visa and it worked out great. Cool. I love that for you. But that's not proof that easy visas are good. It's proof that you were a good fit for the system. If you had the right income, documents, or timing, congratulations, you won the bureaucratic lottery. But for every person who slides through smoothly, there are 5 others who got tripped up by hidden requirements or post-arrival surprises. The problem isn't that easy visas don't exist. It's that people use easy as the only metric that matters. And that's how you end up making decisions based on panic instead of planning. So let's talk money, because visas costs don't end at the application fees. And an easy visa can easily cost you 10 times more than a complicated one. Because you know what's expensive? Renewals, translations, health insurance that's only valid for 12 months because your visa is temporary, lawyers you didn't budget for because it looked easy online. That quick and easy visa you picked because it was cheaper up front, it can cost double or triple or even 10 times as much later. You might even have to leave the country just to reapply. You might lose months waiting for reapproval. You might even have to start from scratch if your visa doesn't count towards long-term residency. It's the immigration version of buying a cheap couch that collapses after a year. So when I say stop chasing easy visas, what I really mean is stop making short-term decisions that create long-term chaos. So now let's end on a slightly gentler note, because I'm not here just to roast you. I actually want to help you, and I want to get you where you want to go without a nervous breakdown, if at all possible. You don't need the easiest visas. You do need the one that matches your life, the one you can actually maintain, the one you can afford, not just to get, but to keep. The one that supports the lifestyle you actually want, not the one that you think looks best on Instagram today. If that means you spend an extra month preparing paperwork, please do it. If that means you have to save just a little bit longer, do that. If it means you go somewhere less trendy, hello Portugal, do that instead. Because easy fades fast, but sustainable pays off in the long term. So here's your assignment, because you know I'm not letting you leave with just a rant today. Go back to your dream country list that we've created a few times ago. Cross off any places you picked solely because someone online said the visa was easy. Then ask yourself, if I actually got approved tomorrow, could I afford to stay? Would I be able to renew my visa? Would my career or my kids or my sanity survive the next 5 years there? If not, honey, that's not your country. It's your rebound visa, and you deserve way better than a rebound. You know what's truly impressive? Not finding an easy visa, finding the right visa, and having the patience, clarity, and strategy to make it work. Anyone can fill out a form, but building a new life abroad, a real one, it takes more than just filling out a form. Stop chasing easy and start chasing aligned. All right, my friend, that's it for today's episode of A Broadly Speaking. If you're currently drowning in visa confusion and just screamed, "This is me," first of all, same, that was me when we first moved abroad. Second, get your ass into my brand new community, the Departure Lounge. This month's challenge is all about visas. We're decoding them, demystifying them, and dragging them when necessary. I'm going to give you real answers, real people, and zero Reddit nonsense. Nobody is going to tell you about an easy visa you can get. The link to join us is in the show notes below. Moving abroad isn't about what's easy. It's about what's possible when you stop chasing shortcuts and start building your own real freaking plan. All right, my friend? So go drop in the show notes, come out into the Departure Lounge this month, hang out with us for the month, and come join the challenge. We start October 20th if you're listening to this in real time, and we're going to go all through what you need to know about visas. Again, for those of you not familiar, I'm Estelle. This is A Broadly Speaking, and just remember, the only thing easier than an easy visa is getting burned by one. All right, my friends, I'll see you next week. I hope this was helpful. See you soon. Thanks for tuning into A Broadly Speaking. If today's episode got you dreaming a little bigger or thinking a little braver, go ahead and hit subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who's ready for their own adventure. And hey, don't be a stranger. Come hang out with me over on Instagram at I am Estelle for the real, unfiltered life abroad. Keep that passport handy, and remember, life's too short to stay in one place.